Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday and welcome to this educational presentation. Now, today I'd like to talk to you about Specialist Trading's triple threat of trading. These are three highly consistent methods that we've put together in a special package that we really feel will change the way you trade simply because they are so consistent. They can be applied to any market and any time frame as well as any direction. For example, let me share with you this older chart here in ROST. As we see, when markets start to go up, that's when people start to jump in, thinking that this is going to go on forever. And then as soon as you get into that uptrend, look what happens, okay? The beauty of these three methods is that they will not only generate signals, but actually confirm the signals you're in and change along with the trend so that you can be riding the market, whether it goes up or down. And as well, you can be applying this to virtually any market. If you're trading currency pairs, E-mini futures, Bitcoin, commodities, or stocks, it makes absolutely no difference. That's why we call it our triple threat. On top of that, it's so easy to apply using our platform, the PTS Primo charting platform I designed and developed with Pro Trader Strategies. This is the platform that actually makes it simple to trade with a triple threat. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Welcome once again, and thanks for joining us. My name is Steven Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. Now, we always say if you've come to our webinar the way you may have attended other webinars in the past, hoping for me to tell you what to buy as soon as this is over, or what to sell, or what the perfect market is that you should be trading now, or the perfect time frame, you've come to the wrong place, because that's the exact opposite of what we do at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. We are first and foremost an educational company. So all we provide, the main service we provide, is simply education. I've been trading for 43 years. I've seen and traded just about everything. I started my career on the stock exchange, so I've been around just about every technique, every market you can think of. So in my 43 years of trading, I know what works in terms of consistency and I know what doesn't. So therefore, I just teach all of our students around the world and in every state in the United States all the things I've accumulated in my 43 years that show high levels of consistency. So that's what our goal is, simply to teach you so that ultimately you can trade and make your own trading decisions. You won't have to rely on going to a trading room or waiting for the new event to come out or some news announcement, or wait for what some guy says on TV. You will be able to look at the market and in a matter of moments know whether you should be buying or selling once you take one of our courses. That's what we provide. Now today you'll see the attention and detail we give into teaching you. But before we begin, as always, we are first required by law to share this with you, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results by displaying our triple threat, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And also, please remember that all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. So as you're taking a brief moment to view the disclaimer, I see a lot of new faces here. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to follow us on Twitter. There's our handle right there. You may want to copy it down, write it down somewhere, and go to our Twitter page, because I post a lot of great free educational information on a daily basis. Anywhere from signals our strategies have generated to little bits of financial wisdom. So please feel free to follow us on Twitter. There's lots of great free educational information posted on a daily basis. So to reiterate, we are different from other webinars you may have attended, and that our only goal is simply to educate you. As you can see here, my goal is not to force feed you signals. It's not to tell you what the perfect market is or the perfect time frame. Those are things that you as an individual trader have to decide on your own. And the way we make it easy for you to decide is that we provide you with sound fundamental education that stood the test of time. Once you're educated with these highly consistent methods and techniques, then deciding on what market or what time frame is really easy after that. It's very simple. So my goal is not to trade for you, but to teach you how to trade with a specialist edge. It's the same edge that was taught to me some 43 years ago and what has really sustained me. So hopefully it will be able to sustain you that same amount of time. Now, before we begin, remember, I like to present my webinars a little bit differently. If you have a question, I like to take the questions at the very end. So please hold off on asking any questions until we get to the end of today's class. I promise I'll get to each and every one of them. If you happen to have a question, just write it down or try to remember it. Oftentimes your question will be answered on the very next slide. Now, the only question I will answer is this being recorded? Yes, it is. We record all of our webinars, so if you have to leave early, or if you're having technical issues, don't worry. Each and every one of you will get a link to this recording. All right, with that stated, let's begin. So we're going to be talking about Specialist Trading's triple threat. So what exactly is that? Well, there are three different and distinct methods that we apply all together that will really increase your odds for consistency. The first one, or threat number one, is strategy number 4. You heard me speak about it before. It is our most popular as well as consistent method. It generates the most signals out of any method, and it can be applied to any market and any time frame. Some of the highlights: it's designed for traders looking to catch momentum. Now, the beauty of this method is that oftentimes it will capture this momentum before it even begins, but because of the way it's designed off of a specific pattern, oftentimes you will see a setup prior to the momentum even taking place. That's how finely tuned this method is. It only uses one indicator. That's the 50-period moving average. You've heard me talk about this before. We call the 50-period moving average our buy-sell line. And the way you use it is you simply plot a 50-period moving average. So if you're trading strategy number 4, all you have to do is plot it on your screen. It doesn't matter if you're trading a 5-minute chart of the E-minis or if you're trading a monthly chart of stocks. It makes no difference. Just plot a 50-period moving average, and buy signals will only be generated above the 50-period. Sell signals can only be generated below. That's why we call it the buy-sell line. You'll have a higher level of consistency if you only buy or trade any type of method or strategy that is above the buy-sell line, the 50-period moving average, and only sell or take any sell signal below. All right, go and do the research yourself. Go back and look at your last 10 or 20 trades. I can almost guarantee that you were doing the opposite if you had losses. You were most likely selling above the 50 and buying below. Now, we're not going to have so much focus on the 50-period moving average in these next coming slides. We're just going to show you some of the signals that were generated. For example, in INTC, we see here that even at the very low of this sell-off, the pattern and the strategy was already detecting that there was momentum to the upside. All right, you can see we close in the top 25%, which is another rule of this particular strategy, and the stock took off right after that. This works to the downside as well. Now, we've been going fairly up, and then we had one down day. We closed in the bottom 25%, and look at the nice move to the downside in Apple. This was an older chart of Apple when it was going lower. And you can have double signals that we had here in GM. We see here that we had a buy signal here, another one here. Both of these closed in the top 25% of the range. Even though the stock was heading lower, the strategy already identified that there was upward momentum taking place. That's the beauty of strategy number 4. It can detect upward momentum prior to the move, and you can see that the move went up after that. So that's threat number 1. I use strategy number 4 on a daily basis in my own personal trading. In fact, I used it yesterday. As you know, we had a nice gap up in today's market. I used it trading the E-mini futures yesterday, held a position overnight, and exited this morning on the opening up based off of a strategy 4 signal. Okay, let's go on to threat number 2. This is another great strategy in terms of consistency, but it's based off entirely different rules and entirely different concept. This is strategy number 5. This is our second most popular method. We have a lot of traders around the world trading this because they like it, because it generates signals in any market or any time frame. So some of the highlights of strategy number 5 is it's a non-traditional candlestick method. Okay, I know we've all been taught, I would say just about the majority of all traders use candlesticks in some capacity, but this is a non-traditional way of using candlesticks, and I'll show you in just a few minutes some of the signals it generates. It may be applied to all candlestick patterns, but we specifically focus on just a few in this particular strategy. Once again, it only uses one indicator. We talk about simplicity. Well, it doesn't get any simpler than strategies 4 and 5. They only use one indicator, and that's the 50-period moving average again. Once again, we use it to tell us whether we should be buying or selling. That's how simple these strategies are. So let's look at some older signals here. The beauty of strategy number 5 is that oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes, it will generate signals already established within a current trend. So many times traders will say, well, I can't sell this now because it's going down far too much, and I don't feel comfortable selling as it's going down. Or vice versa. They'll say, as we see here, I can't buy letter O right now because it's been going up for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Why would I want to buy it now? Well, strategy 5 actually generated a buy signal as it was going up, and you could have potentially captured another month's full of profits. Now, here's the beauty of it. As we're going higher and higher, if you missed that first setup, well, there was another one generated here, another one here, and still we can go to the short side as well. Now here's an example where it's at the top of an upward move and it captures the top. So see, strategy number 5 can both capture these bottoms and tops as well as trend moving setups. Here's another example where Facebook had a nice gap opening and went higher. We have 2 signals generated towards the high of that gap, where a lot of people would say, I can't buy it now, it's just gapped up. But that would have been an opportune place to get in. And once again, if you miss that, there are always signals being generated along the way. So these are 2 of our most consistent methods. But remember, once again, not every method will generate 100% winners. If anyone ever tells you that, you should run, because I've been trading for 4 decades, and some of the best traders I know will lose every once in a while. There's nothing wrong with losing. So while losses may be inevitable, there is still a way to filter many out. So how do we filter out some of these bad trades from the good ones, okay? Because remember, we're going to have losses. They are inevitable. Don't ever run away from losses. What you want to do is run away from a method that consistently generates large losses in a row. That's what you don't want. So we're just talking about standard losses here. Well, for example, let's look at this example in ZTS, our older chart. Here's a strategy number 5, buy signal, okay? And then look what happened. That was eventually a loss. Same thing with this example. Here's a strategy number 4, sell signal. Okay, looks like it's going up. It reversed. We have a reversal pattern. Close in the bottom 25%. We have to sell, and look what happens. It continues to go higher. So is there a way to filter out, not all, because we know there's no way to filter out 100% losses, but is there a way to filter out a majority of these? Well, we have found that yes, there is. This is where threat number 3 comes in to really increase your odds for consistency. This is the PET-D. A tool I was first introduced to some 4 decades ago on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange when I was trading down there. The only trouble with the PET-D at the time, by the way, we called it the formula, because it was a simple calculation you had to calculate and put together, but it was too cumbersome because it was almost on every tick you had to be calculating, and there was no way you could trade because you were constantly calculating. So we only used it for end-of-day purposes. But now with the advent of high-speed computers and with programmers, we've generated it into a color bar algorithm. So if you're asking what the PET-D is, you've never seen it before, it's a proprietary algorithm that I have defined and developed with Pro Trader Strategies, and we've developed into a short-term trend identifier. This is the beauty of the PET-D. It identifies the trend quicker and faster than anything I've ever traded before in my 4 decades. And we've designed it so that it's a color bar tool. In fact, we've taken all the hard work out of it for you and keeping it proprietary. And all you have to do is look at the color. Because the color, if you have a series of green bars, tells you you're in an uptrend. If you have a series of red bars, you're in a downtrend. It's that simple. Here is the best way, though, to apply it. We have found out from our own studies and also through the testimonials we have from students is that the best and easiest way to apply it is simply clicking it on our platform. As you see here in the upper green strategy, here's the PET-D. And once you see that a trend has changed or has really just totally reversed, if you add the PET-D, look how the PET-D captured that. So the easiest way is just to have the color bars on your screen at all times, because this way you'll know what the short-term trend is. You see, we call the PET-D a translator. It's not so much an indicator, it's more of a translator. It's translating on a tick-by-tick basis what the market wants to do. So what a great edge to have, to know what the market wants to do. So all you have to do is simply just jump on board. So the market was telling us it wanted to go higher. Even though it had this down day right here, as a dark green bar, what color did the PET-D color it? It colored it green. So a down day does not have to be colored red. A down day in an uptrend is colored green. And look what happened after that. Don't you think that would have been a nice place to figure you were in an uptrend? And look at all these down days, okay? These are the dark green colored in bars. Just because a day is down does not mean it's colored red. If the trend is up, these are all nice buying opportunities. Now, at some time, the trend does have to change, as it did here. But look what happened. It gave you a quick enough warning to get out and take advantage of this move to the downside. So what our students have told us is that they love the way it can be applied as a way to confirm your signals. So this is how we're going to apply it, and this is how it comes into play here with our triple threat. So let me show you exactly how we would apply it. If you get a buy signal, regardless if it's strategy number 4 or 5, threat number 1 or threat number 2, those bars that are above the arrows must be colored green. That's it. So you have either 4 or 5, and that bar, that signal bar, is colored green. Conversely, if you get a sell order in strategy 4 or 5, all right, where you get a little arrow above the bar, that bar must be colored red. That's it. That's our triple threat in action. Let me show you how consistent these setups are using the triple threat. And these are now, going forward, these are now going to be examples, and then later on we'll show you some really current examples. But these are older examples. Once again, ZTS, we had a buy signal here. Now, for the sake of discerning between strategy 4 and 5, if you see a triangle, that's strategy 5, and up arrow will be strategy 4. But we have an up triangle, so this is a strategy 5 buy signal, and obviously it did not work out well. But if we applied threat number 3, we see here that in order for us to take this, we would have had to see this up day colored outlined green, the same way these up days are outlined green. But what was it outlined? It was outlined red. Therefore, we did not take the trade. Therefore, we did not lose money. Therefore, we had a nice filter. Second example here, this is a down arrow. So this is a strategy number 4, sell signal. As we can see, it met all the requirements, but it just didn't work. Sometimes they don't work, okay? That's okay. We have a filter that's able to filter some of these losses out. By applying the PET-D, we want to see that this down day is colored red. If it's not, we should not take the trade. So we apply the PET-D, and we have a major down day here, but it's colored green. So what was the PET-D telling us? You see how it told us that even though we had a major down day here, the trend is still up. I do not want to go lower. This is an opportunity to buy, actually. So therefore, we would not have taken the sell signal, and we might have reversed and said, let's look for a buy setup somewhere around the road. You see how this filter can really help you by applying the triple threat. Now, when we combine these 3 methods, once again, we get what we call specialist trading, triple threat of trading, because it is so powerful. You're using 2 very highly consistent methods along with a filter. That's the PET-D, and that's our triple threat of trading. Okay, so far we've looked at examples of older charts just to give us an idea of how the concept works. Let's look at some more recent examples so you can see how some of these examples took place just within the last couple of weeks, okay? All right. So here's an example in the QQQs. This was January 8th, just a couple of weeks ago. Now, as you can see, the market has been going higher. This is where people tend to say, well, Steve, I took that course in overbought, oversold, where I look at an oscillator and it's too high, and this is way too high. I've got to exit right now, maybe go short. Well, this is the way most traders trade. What is the market telling us? Well, according to the rules of strategy number 5, it's saying that this is a valid buy signal. In order to increase our odds for success, let's apply the third threat, which is the PET-D. All you'd have to do on our platform is click on PET-D, PET-D fast, and as you can see, all the bars are colored or outlined green. So what is the triple threat telling you? It's telling you that this wants to go higher, that in no way should you view this as overbought. I mean, there's no consistency in trading that way. So where everyone else is saying it's too high to get into now, you're getting in, and it went up another 7 points, which represented just hundreds of points in the NASDAQ and in the market. Here's another example in AM. As you can see, this has been going lower. Strategy number 5 signal, as you can see here with the downward red arrow, is being generated. Now, someone could say, once again, we've just gone down for the last 2 weeks. I can't sell now. I would have wanted to sell higher. But according to the requirements of strategy number 5, it's telling you that the market still wants to go lower. Now let's see what our translator is saying. Once again, we just click on the PET-D, and it automatically changes the colors from green to red. And as you can see, this last bar here was green, and then we quickly changed over into red. So now the requirements tell you that it's a valid sell signal, and then the filter is telling you that it's okay to take this trade. So you have a highly consistent triple threat. The stock fell 7 points coming into December. Now, the beauty of this is that many times if you miss that first setup, look at all the sell signals that were generated along the way. Now, we realize this is an inexpensive stock, but let's say you were long this stock in your long-term portfolio. You could use these sell signals to get out as a warning before you lose another 7 or 10 points, okay? All right, let's look at another signal in VIE. This is a strategy number 5 signal. Basically, the stock has been going sideways. You're saying, well, I don't really have a clear idea here, but it says to go long. So normally you would just jump in and buy. But remember, we're trading the triple threat now, which incorporates the PET-D. The PET-D is the best tool here because it filters out whether we should be taking some of these setups or not. Well, we apply the PET-D, and in order for us to take that signal, we would have had to have that bar outlined green. And what color is it? It's outlined red, right? So the PET-D, our translator, is saying right now the market doesn't want to go up. It may change its mind later, but right now it's most likely better if you just hold off. So you don't take that signal. All right, so we wait, and then guess what? 3 days later, a valid signal is generated. You see how nothing really much changed, but the PET-D is so sensitive in its algorithm, even roughly at the same price, it generated a valid buy signal that was outlined green. That's the beauty of this triple threat. So now, even roughly around the same price, we can buy this one, and 20 points coming into the 16th of January, just this past week. All right, let's look at VRSN. This was going a little further back in September, and as you can see, we had a cluster of sell signals generated. And the market is really doing nothing, basically in a little range pattern, just kind of going up, then down, then up, then back down. So someone would say, well, I'm not really sure if I want to take this. These are all strategy number 4 sell signals. Now, to give you more confidence, we add the third in our series of threats, which is the PET-D. And we can see here that the very first sell signal was not valid because it's colored green. So we don't want to take this one. But that's okay. The very next signal and the one after that were validated. So we can take either one of these sell signals. We won't take the first. And once again, potentially we could have captured 20 points coming into last October. Once again, the beauty of this is if you happen to miss one and if the trend is strong enough, there's always more signals being generated. How about this? We have a tandem now of strategy number 4 and strategy number 5 signals. Do you see how strategy 4 with the upward arrow generated the signals towards the bottom? Because they already detected that there was momentum to the upside. Now, where many people would say, well, that's a nice little profit, I'm going to exit. We see here that strategy number 5 generated a buy signal as well. So as we said earlier, the beauty of 5 is that many times it will generate buy signals already when you've gone up, when you feel it's been up too high. It's telling you that most likely wants to go higher. But let's check with the third in our series of threats, which is the PET-D. Once we apply that, we see that they're all colored green. Remember, we don't care what the other bars are colored. All we care about are the bars on top of the arrows or triangle. Since they're all colored green, they're all valid buy signals. The stock went up 42 points. In fact, I think TECD actually got bought out. I really don't know because I don't follow fundamental news or corporate news. But I think ultimately the stock was a takeover candidate, as you can see with all the large gap ups. And where someone would say, well, gosh, how did you guys know that? I mean, do you follow the companies? Do you look at the rumors about buyouts? No, I stopped looking at that stuff some 40 years ago. And someone would say, well, how did you know? It's because these strategies are so consistent, they can detect things before most people see them. And also because they were validated by using the PET-D. That's why we call this our triple threat. And once again, not to worry if you miss the first couple of setups, because many times more signals are being generated along the way. Now, here's a great example of how the PET-D can help you even when you have those setups that don't always work. Here was a strategy number 5 sell signal. Okay, it met all the requirements of the method. Unfortunately, it didn't work out well, and you would have had a 9-point loss if you held on long enough, okay? So how could the third threat, the PET-D, have helped us? All you have to do is apply it before you take it. And as you can see here, in order for us to take this signal, this bar would have needed to be colored red. But do you see how sensitive the PET-D is? The PET-D was already telling us, even though the requirements are met in this non-traditional candlestick method, even though the requirements are met, the market is telling us it doesn't want to go lower. So don't take the signal because it needed to be colored red if we wanted to take that signal. So therefore, we would not have taken this and we would not have lost 9 points potentially. Let's look at letter W, okay? Stock's kind of going sideways, looks like it's going to take off and then quickly reverses. We have a strategy number 4 sell signal. But let's validate it with our third threat, the PET-D. We apply the PET-D, and yes, it's a valid setup. Even though all the prior bars are colored green, all that matters is the bar below the arrow. So if you wanted to take this signal, you could have 30 points in the next week or so, okay? Did we know it was going to gap down, probably based on some news? No, absolutely not. But because the strategy knew that there was downward momentum, and because the PET-D validated it, that's all we decided to know. Now, in our course, we give you 6 or 7 different exit points. Some students may have taken an early exit right here. Others may have taken it the next day. Others may have gotten out on the gap down. Still, others may still be short in this, all right? It makes no difference as long as you're making your own trading decisions. Remember, we are not here to trade for you the way so many other websites and so-called educators profess. We are here simply to educate you so that you can make your own trading decisions. In my 40 plus years of trading, that is the only way you'll become a consistent trader, not by simply piggybacking someone in a chat room. That doesn't work, because if it worked, then why is it estimated that 80 to 85% of all traders fail? The only thing that I've seen that works is when you make your own trading decision. And if you feel you don't have enough expertise or knowledge to do that, well, that's the service we provide. We provide you with all that knowledge, 43 plus years of trading, and we teach you how to use it very simply. Here's a cluster in signals in the spiders. This was just a couple of weeks ago, coming into the beginning of the year. 2 buy signals were generated using strategy number 4, because the strategy, once again, detects if there's momentum. All right. Now, it detected here, closed in the top 25% of its range. It also detected here. So in order to take these signals with the triple threat, you want to apply the PET-D. And as you can see, not only those 2 bars, but all the bars, even the down days, were colored green. So even though you had a down 3-day approach here, the market was still saying, don't worry, we're still in a short-term uptrend, so this may be a buying opportunity, not a selling opportunity. So don't get scared because we're going down. Isn't that a great edge to have if you see a really strong downward day and it's colored green? That basically is telling you there's a high probability that most likely it's not going to go much lower, just the same way we had here. So we have valid signals. The filter confirmed it, and it went up 22 points coming into last week, okay? Now that transferred over into nearly 1,900 points in the Dow. What a great edge to have. All right, here's a sell signal in Netflix. This was in September because there haven't been a lot of sell signals generated. As we've seen, the market has been going straight up. So we had to go back a little ways in order to find some valid sell setups, okay? All right, so we have a strategy number 5 sell signal. Once again, the market's been going lower, but it still generated a sell signal. The PET-D colors it red. In fact, all of these bars have been coloring red. Do you see how we had 2 up days here? As the market went up here and it closed up here, what was the color of these outlines of the bars? They were red. So what was the PET-D translating? It was saying that even though we've had a couple of up days, we're still in a short-term downtrend. So don't get caught thinking that we've bottomed out. Most likely we're going lower, and then the signal was confirmed, 42 points coming into October, okay? Do you see how powerful these threats can really help you with your trading? Here's another cluster in Tesla. Now, we all know how strong Tesla has been, okay? This was in the very first week of January. 2 buy signals were generated. We know Tesla is a very expensive stock, $400 stock, but that's okay. You could have purchased options you wanted. And out of the money options, because not only did strategy number 4 detect that there was still some momentum to the upside, it also, the PET-D also confirmed it. You just simply click on the PET-D and all the bars are green. Once again, we had 2 down days, and that's okay. The PET-D was still saying there's still a nice strong upward trend, and the stock goes up 125 points coming into, I believe, the Monday, okay, or Tuesday, Tuesday, which was yesterday. And then lastly, I believe PSA here, okay? 2 sell signals generated strategy number 4. We click on PET-D. They're both red. Even though we had some up days here, they're both outlined red, so there's nothing really to worry about. We're still in a short-term downtrend, 45 points to the downside. And look at the signals that were continue to be generated along the way. Okay, so let's recap before we go into question and answer portion. Let's talk about the triple threat. Threat number 1 is strategy number 4. Okay, strategy number 4 is our most popular as well as consistent method. It generates the most signals, and it's based off of capturing momentum. It can detect momentum in a stock, in a future, in a currency pair, before you even see it take place. That's the beauty of strategy number 4. You can apply it to any market, any time frame. Threat number 2 is strategy number 5. Okay, this is our non-traditional way of using candlesticks. We use candlestick patterns in a non-traditional way. Okay, very simple, very easy. Once again, only uses one indicator. That's the 50-period moving average. We have a lot of traders around the world trading strategy number 5. They particularly like it in the European markets and currency pairs. It's a great method. A lot of traders like to use this on intraday trading because of those strong trends that you see intraday. It generates signals within the trend. So that's threat number 2. Now, a way to filter out some of the losses, because many times we will have losing trades that they don't all work out, is by applying our filter, which is the 3rd threat, which is the PET-D. This is the most powerful tool we have at Specialist Trading because it can be used in literally dozens of ways. The most popular way is as a signal confirmation tool, and that's what we're using it as our 3rd threat in the triple threat. So when you add all these 3 together, you get Specialist Trading's triple threat of trading. This is our most consistent way to trade. It's a highly consistent method, as you just saw through those examples. And I know a lot of webinars you may have attended in the past, I show you some great examples, and then you look at the date and they're like a year old, okay? Most of these setups were just generated within the last couple of weeks. You could have taken advantage of this if you were already a triple threat member. Unfortunately, a lot of the sell signals were just a couple of months ago because we haven't had really any sell signals taking place lately. Most of the profits and the really nice signals and the gains were generated to the upside because the market's been going straight up. But the beauty of this is once we reverse, if and when we ultimately go into some time of a downward market, you'll get just as many signals, if not more, generated using our triple threat. And these signals will be to the downside. So you'll be in sync with whatever market, whatever time frame, and whatever direction. So ask yourself, do you think these 3 methods can help your trading going into the new year? How were your results last year? Do you think this can help you going into 2020? I think if you answer honestly, it will be yes. So we have a great offer for all the people saying yes and who would like to become a member of our courses. We're going to give you our triple threat special. Okay, this is strategy number 4 along with strategy number 5 and the PET-D. Included with this, you're going to get 4 additional PET-D trading techniques. These are entirely different from what I just shared with you. So there's a lot of great things here. Now, we're also going to throw in a full year of the PTS Primo charting platform. I designed this with Pro Trader Strategies to make trading the triple threat very simple. Everything is just one click away from the strategies to applying the PET-D. It's right there in front of you. So let's see what you get with our platform. Obviously, you get strategy 4, strategy 5, the PET-D directional tool, but you'll also get 4 different features for detecting the buy-sell line. That's our 50-period moving average, okay? This is a great tool, and we show you numerous ways in which to apply it. You also get our strength of trend tool, a tool I devised with Pro Trader Strategies that has the uncanny ability to tell you when a trend is running out of gas or if it's starting to pick up some momentum. This is a great tool only found on our platform. This all comes with personalized tech support, but here's what I'm the most proud of on our platform. This is the strategy signal scanner, because I know all of you can't be trading, intraday trading in front of your computers all the time. So many times you can only see what the setups are for the next day. Let me show you how simple it is to apply these on our scanner, because you can scan for other markets and you can also scan intraday. Here are some older charts. Here's an older chart of the British pound. As we see here, this is an arrow. So this was a strategy number 4 sell signal generated on a daily chart. We apply the PET-D the exact same way. It confirms the setup, and the British pound fell 390 pips. That's close to $4,000 per unit. This happened just in a couple of weeks. We can also go intraday. Here's an intraday chart of the Swiss franc. Okay, here's a strategy number 5 triangle. As you can see, the market's been going higher. That's the beauty, one of the characteristics of strategy 5. It will generate signals along the trend, so you don't feel you missed. You can, if the trend is going up and you get a signal, don't feel as if you missed it. Many times this is telling you the trend will go higher. It was validated by the PET-D. As you can see, the PET-D at this point changed to a short-term uptrend. It confirmed the setup and nearly 100 pips in the next couple of days. Okay, that's in the Swiss franc. How about in a 10-minute chart of the E-mini? The same principle applies. Here's a strategy number 5 sell signal. It's validated with the red color of the PET-D. 20 points, and here was another sell signal generated just about an hour later. It was 20 points in just a couple of hours. That's $1,000 per unit potentially you could have captured. It was on a 10-minute chart. Now let's look at something that happened just a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Here's a chart in ZTS, okay? As we can see here, we have a strategy number 5 buy signal. Once again, one of the main characteristics of strategy 5 is that it will generate signals as you're in the trend. A lot of traders always have difficulty with this. I know when I was first starting out, I used to say the same thing. It's gone up so much. How can I buy it here? But that's the beauty of strategy number 5. It wants to get you in because it's saying most likely the trend's going to continue. Now, in order to make this a high probability setup, you simply add the PET-D. And as you can see, all the bars are green, but all we need is this one to be outlined green. So that's a high probability triple threat setup. And the stock has gone up 10 points coming into yesterday, okay? Not a bad little trade you could have had, right? But we can even take it up a step more because look what happened just a couple of weeks ago. Here's an example in Facebook. On the last day of the year and on the first day of this year, strategy number 4 generated 2 buy signals, okay? All we have to do is apply the PET-D. It confirmed them, and Facebook gained 17 points in the next 2 weeks. You could have easily purchased calls or bought the stock if you wanted, or some type of spread strategy to the upside. That's how powerful this triple threat is. And you can have all this at your access by taking part in our course here. Now we're going to offer you 12 months. Now 12 months cost roughly $1,800, but not to worry, as a part, excuse me, of this special offer, we're not going to charge you $1,800. We're going to actually throw in 12 months free. So with our triple threat, you're getting a full year of our platform with all these features, with the PET-D, strategy 4 and 5, and with all the other different features, 43 years of experience in one platform at your ease. It's right there at your access. So let's break this down, what the triple threat is. Strategy number 4 would normally cost you close to $700. Strategy number 5 would cost you the same amount, and the PET-D, if you purchase separately, would cost you close to $3,000. So if you purchase these, let's say you waited and said, you know what, here it is March or February, I didn't take advantage of that one offer, but I think I'll take advantage of it now. Well, you'd have to purchase them separately, and that would roughly cost you close to $4,400, which is a lot of money. And on top of that, if you added a full year of the PET-D, well, now we're talking close to $6,100, which is far too much. We don't want to make you spend that money, especially in the beginning of the year. We know everyone's a little tight on cash now. So we have a great, great offer. We're not going to charge you anywhere near the $6,100 or $6,200. In fact, we're not going to charge you for strategy number 4 or strategy number 5. We're only going to have a one-time payment for the PET-D for $29.95. That's it. And we're also going to include payment plans. So if it's still difficult to come up with $29.95, you can still establish a payment plan with Pro Trader Strategies for a small deposit. You can still be up and running. Okay? But this offer is for a limited time only. You have to take advantage of this. Most likely it won't be here next week. And if you sit and think about it for the next week or two and you say, you know what, I'm ready to become a member of the Triple Threat course, it may be close to $6,200. So don't sit on this if you're really serious about taking your trading to the next level. Ask yourself, how were your trading results for 2019? Most likely they weren't anywhere near where you wanted to be. Are you going to wait another year to become a consistent trader? Take advantage of this great offer. It's roughly over a 50% discount. We're doing this for all our members and all the people that take the time out to come to our webinars. We have a great, great offer. Remember, you get the 3 strategies included with 1 full year. And one thing I didn't mention, whenever you're a student of mine, you get educational correspondence. You're going to get my personal email address. You can email me whenever you'd like, and I will get back to you as soon as possible, answering any question about trading, about the strategies, about the PET-D. So this is also included within your triple threat special. Okay, here's how to take advantage of this. Contact Pro Trader Strategies if you have questions concerning putting together a payment plan. They have qualified trading consultants manning the phones right now. They can answer virtually any question about a trading plan or about a discount. I would highly suggest calling them at 310-598-6677, and they would be more than happy to tell you about the discounts, about putting together a payment plan. Or if you're ready to sign up right now, you can do that over the phone. That link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to a more informational page, but it's not a live link. You would have to copy and paste that onto a browser. but there is a live link in the chat box, so you can simply click that on. If you're having any difficulty with the link going forward, there's absolutely no obligation. Please contact Pro Trader Strategies by phone or email. And once again, they would be happy to answer any question. There's absolutely no obligation. They're there to work with you. So you don't have to feel uncomfortable if you want to give them a call as if they're going to sell you something. They would be happy to answer a question or give you an estimate as to what you need to put down for a down payment for a payment plan. It's that simple, but they're probably the best to ask those questions. Any questions concerning trading or actually applying the triple threat? Well, now here's your chance. Just go into the question and answer box, and I will be more than happy to answer any question that you currently have. Okay, some students are asking, can we apply these to other platforms? Yes, I believe you can apply them to most of the major platforms such as TradeStation, Metastock, and when I say apply, we mean the add-ons. You have to download the add-ons for those different platforms, and then they will automatically generate the up and down arrows or paint the colors of the PET-D. But to be honest with you, it really will not be as simple and as nice as our platform. Remember, we specifically designed the platform to make trading simple. Everything is one click away, and it's one-click access. And you're seeing the colors change, you're seeing the up and down arrows. It's that simple. With another platform like Metastock, TradeStation, NinjaTrader, Sierra Charts, sure, you could still see those qualities, but you'd have to open up, like a toolbox or on the platform or indicator page, search for it. By the time you find it, open it up, click it on, and then you see it there. I mean, it's a little bit cumbersome compared to what we've offered you. So yes, most of the major platforms, TradeStation, Metastock, MT4, NinjaTrader, even Thinkorswim, there are ways in which to apply it. You can have our add-ons, but if you really want to make your trading simple, I would suggest go with the one full year. It's free anyway of our platform. That's really the way, and the reason why we designed it, so that it can make trading simple. Okay. Someone said you were asking about the scanner, right? Yes. Okay. Well, the scanner, I'm sorry, I didn't show any slides. The scanner, I'm very proud of because you can scan the last three setups I showed you in currency pairs, E-mini futures, as well as, I believe, Facebook. Those were all things you could have scanned for. So if you're looking at a daily bar, yes, you can scan the night before and see that there's a setup in Facebook or Tesla, and you would have known that the night before. Now, if you're trading intraday, let's say 10-minute charts of the E-mini futures, yes, you can scan on a 10-minute basis as well. You can get those setups just the same way, and you can have the PET-D applied and confirm it with the triple threat. That's the beauty of our scanner. You can do this intraday. It's really a great tool, and once again, it's only available on our platform. So this is why, once again, I would highly suggest taking advantage of this, because you're not only getting our three highly consistent methods and strategies with the 4, 5, and the PET-D, you're also getting our platform, which comes with some other features as well, which are really, really highly consistent features. So this is just a great, great offer, okay? Someone's saying, can this be applied intraday? Yes, it can. If you trade stocks intraday, yes, it can be. I didn't show a lot of intraday stocks, but we have a lot of members who use this on intraday stock trading. Wherever there is a trend, wherever this pattern is recognized, or wherever you see this non-traditional candlestick setup, you will get strategy 4 and 5 signals. And wherever there is a trend with the PET-D, you will see either green or red bars, okay? Okay, I guess that's all the questions we have. Remember, this is a great, great offer. We've discounted it over 50%, so I can't think of a better way to take advantage of this. Remember, 2019 ended, and I can almost guarantee you that most of the people in attendance today were nowhere near meeting their goals that they had set at the beginning of the year. Let's start out 2020 right together, okay? Let me teach you how to trade these. I will be your personal mentor, and you can contact me via email whenever you'd like. This is a great, great offer by someone who actually uses this in his own personal trading. I've been using it for over 4 decades now, so any question you have, I can answer for you. This is a great offer. Take advantage of this. And remember, once again, if you have any more questions concerning pricing or having a payment plan, do not hesitate. I would really suggest contacting Pro Trader Strategies by calling them at 310-598-6677. They would be more than happy to answer any question you have, and there's absolutely no obligation, okay? They have trading consultants manning the phones right now. They would be more than happy to assist you, okay? As we close here and take one last look at our disclaimer, I hope you got some insight into what we do at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. I hope you saw our attention to detail in really trying to educate you. But most importantly, I really hope that in any way that this piqued your interest, and I really hope to see you in the courses of the Triple Threat package, okay? Thank you so much for attending, and I wish you the best of luck in trading. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.